Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday night with Ellen's Team Zoom. But my name is Harlequin Murray. I'm your co-host this evening, as I am every Monday night, with a couple of exceptions. We've been doing this for a little over 3 years now, so super excited about that. But anyways, if you are here for the first time joining us, welcome. We appreciate you being here, and we're excited that you've joined us. And for those of you who are not new here, welcome back. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ellen. For those of you who don't know anything about her, just to give you a little bit of her background. She is from Atlanta, Georgia, or just outside of Atlanta, a town called Dallas, Georgia, not Texas. But anyway, she grew up there on her family's farm. And when she got out of school, she went to work in the restaurant industry, was highly successful there, ended up working her way up into management with Domino's Pizza. She was a district director and a training director for them. But she decided that she had had enough of corporate life and started her own pizza restaurant and had a couple of different locations. But so she knows what it's like to be a business owner. She actually still owns a business, not a restaurant, but a limousine company. And so she knows what business owners are going through, so she can relate to our clients. But she was introduced to network marketing, gosh, I think it's been a little bit over 20 years now, and felt that that was a phenomenal opportunity to take advantage of. And whenever I met her about 18 years ago, she had actually worked her way up. She was the national training director of a network marketing company that I joined. I was on her team there. So she and I have known each other for about 18 years now. And we've still managed to be friends all through that time period. And anyways, she has been with DAC for 5 years now, because I've been with the company for 4. And she is an area director in our comp plan and has been for a little while now. So she's the first person outside of David and Wade who reached that level. So we're super proud of her. And unless you specifically came in from another group and were invited to join us, pretty much everybody is on Ellen's team on this call, and a lot of you are also on my team, but not everybody. But anyways, without further ado, Miss Ellen, you want to go ahead and take it away? And you did remember, I didn't get a chance to tell you. She's got that gorgeous view. That's actually her backyard. That's her swimming pool with the little mini lake behind it. And it's a fabulous place to hang out. I can tell you that from personal experience.
Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that. Boy, time really flies when you think back 20 years and us knowing each other for 18 plus years. Yeah. And that meeting 18 years ago turned into a long relationship. We've done business together. We've had a lot of fun together. We continue having fun together, do business. And I look forward to a lifetime of friendship with Harlequin because of this industry. And reference to my virtual background tonight, I told Harlequin, I said, okay, we're going to talk about lifestyle tonight. So remind me to pop up my virtual background, which is literally the view that I have off to my right. That was taken from 3 steps away from my desk here, looking out the window at my screen porch overlooking the pool. And it's not there to brag. It's just there to remind you guys, and as we go through this conversation tonight about lifestyle, about what's possible. I'm gonna get you to think outside the box a little bit, but we're gonna get kicked off as we normally do, which is talking about who our top recruiters are. So let me get us into screen share mode. And we will start with that. We've got some promotions and really good, exciting things happening within the team. So I'll start off with DAC, Fueling the American Dream, not only helping small business owners get the money that they need when they can't get qualified at their local bank, but we're also providing a world-class opportunity with a performance-based compensation plan and a huge incentive for you to attract other agency entrepreneurs. And that's the key to building a massive long-term income. So that's a great lead in to us starting off with our recruiters and our team growth for the week of 7/10 through 7/16. We had 31 new agents join the team, which is a nice improvement from the previous week because numbers had dropped off a little bit after the holiday, everybody in party vacation mode. Well, we're getting back to work. So 31 new agents had at least one new recruit for the week and a total of 39 agents. I think I misstated that. So good to see those numbers on the upswing. Our top recruiters for the week, in first place, we had Derek Williams with 4 new agents enrolled. In second place, we had Ben Randalls with 3 new agents enrolled. And in third place, we had a 3-way tie with Alexa Business Coach, Arisa John, and Teresa Items, each with 2 new agents for the week. So congratulations to everybody who made the leaderboard. To make it to the leaderboard, you had to have at least 2 new recruits or more. So many of you had 1 new agent for the week, but to be name recognized, you had to have 2 or more. So congratulations. But you know, if you had one agent, or if you didn't have any new agents join the team, but you had a conversation with someone and invited someone to take a look at what we're doing here with DAC, or you made a post about DAC, it's just a matter of time before your name also ends up on the leaderboard. So kudos to you for taking some kind of action towards building your business. All right, next thing I want to do is cover bonus plan rank recognition. We've got 4 agents who have moved through the compensation plan this week and want to make sure that they get recognized. These ranks that we're recognizing tonight, DAC 1, DAC 2, DAC 4, this is all achieved with your own personal production. Harlequin made reference to me earlier about being an area director. The only way you get to an area director is the next level up past DAC 4. It's a steady climb to get there, and you have to have a team that is producing to get to area director. You can't do that alone. It takes a team to get there. So all of you helped me achieve that level and keep pushing me up, hopefully reaching the next level soon in the very near future. But DAC 1, DAC 2, DAC 4, this is all achieved by you personally getting new qualifying bonus clients. So I'd like to congratulate our new DAC 1s. We have Michelle Miller, Brenda Wright and Associates, and Jeff Stone. Each of these agents hit the rank of DAC 1. What does that mean? Well, to get to DAC 1, they each had to have at least 1 new qualified client, right? And the qualified client is a client that has 600 or more bonus revenue, and it's new, meaning they haven't gotten funding from us before. So it's not a renewal client. Okay. That's a new qualifying bonus client. And they had to have a total bonus revenue of 1,000 or more. If it were only 600, it might have taken 2 clients to get there, right? 600 is less than 1,000. So that's how you move through the ranks. But these guys have all positioned themselves now to start earning a 10% income match on any production if they're building a team and if their team has fundings, and if they have people in their team that are creating a funding that aren't under another DAC 1. So that's the importance of moving through these ranks and getting to a higher level in the compensation plan. So congratulations, Michelle, Brenda, and Jeff. Way to go getting to DAC 1. We also had a DAC 2 promotion this week, and that's Nick Cransdown. Nick hit DAC 2. To get to DAC 2, you had to have at least 2 qualifying bonus clients with 600 or more, right? New clients. And that total bonus revenue had to be 2,000 or more. So Nick had a funding this past week. He's had several clients, but they were smaller clients. So it took this last one to push him over that 2 qualified bonus clients. And now Nick is at a 15% income match on people in his team. And I know today he got a nice override on some production in his team at 15% match. And I believe that another agent in his team got a funding today, which will get paid out tomorrow and should also produce a 15% income match there. So congratulations, Nick. Do you see Nick on here with us, Harlequin? I chatted with him by text earlier, and I wasn't expecting him to be here. I just want to make sure that I'm not
I
overlooking.
don't see a Nick listed.
Yeah.
There's
So,
a couple of people
yeah.
that have phone numbers, but I can't tell.
No worries. So prayers go out to Nick. He said, he shared with me that he had had a rough weekend. His mom had ended up in the hospital. So for those of you that believe in prayer, say a prayer for Nick and his mom, and prayers for a speedy recovery for her. I believe she's been released now, but still, you never know when someone's had an issue that took them to the emergency room. That's always a touch and go situation. So congratulations, Nick. Real proud of you hitting DAC 2. He's consistently plugging away. I get messages from Nick all the time with questions about clients. And it's not that he's not plugged into the training, because he is, but when you're actively engaging with clients, you run into questions that you may not remember from training. So Nick's very plugged into that, and I'm real excited for him with his new DAC 2 promotion. All right, so let's talk real briefly about the promotions and building that agency and why you want to take advantage of building your DAC business. Yes, you can make good money, really solid income by getting personal clients and doing this all on your own, more of a self-employed or solopreneur. But the big money is there if you want to build a team where not only are you getting paid, you can still get those personal clients and make that big upfront money yourself, but also you can make some significant overrides on what your team does. Harlequin is a DAC 4, for example, and she had one of her frontline agents get a really big funding today or Friday. It got paid out today, and her match as an enroller plus her DAC 4, she got a significant override on that client. And that's a client that her personally enrolled agent got. She didn't have to go get them herself. However, I know she helped in the process, but that's the beauty of the compensation plan. So what is it that you earn, and how do you earn? Just real quick, if you personally introduce others to the DAC agency opportunity, you can earn up to 50% income match on all the personal bonuses that you help them earn. That's the enroller match. The second way that you can earn by building a team is when your personally enrolled team starts introducing others, and they introduce others, and they introduce others, and so on and so on. Your team just starts growing further and further away from you because other people see the agency opportunity and want to expand and grow. You can also earn up to a 50% income match on the personal bonuses of your open line extended agency. Remember earlier, I said that our DAC 1s will earn that 10% match as long as there's not another DAC 1 between them and the person that gets the funding. That's what open line means, meaning that there's not another person of your rank or higher between you and where the funding or the bonus money takes place, okay? You can also qualify for permanent ownership coded groups at area director and above. Guys, this is a game changer. And for those of you that may not understand the compensation plan yet, this piece of our compensation plan is what has made many, many, many millionaires with other network marketing companies, because they wrote into their compensation plan coded groups. What does that mean? Well, when you get to area director and above, you start your own new coded group, and everybody in that coded group will never, ever get cut out. There'll never be someone at your same rank or above that cuts you out of commissions on that team. So that is a huge benefit of our comp plan. The third way on making money, if you're building a team, is on our 7-level compressed 7-level residual plan, where you can earn up to 30% of the personal residual commissions of your overall agency network. And You can also qualify for a 7-level bump up bonus of up to 25% additional if you hit 1,000 plus in personal residual revenue. So you need to be focused on getting personal clients so that you're building your personal residual revenue. What is residual revenue? Well, it's reoccurring volume that hits every single month. It's reoccurring business bonus volume that hits every month. So clients that that bill on a regular basis, like credit card processing clients, people that are paying for healthcare, people that are paying for our DAC Protect, people that are paying for Zoom, which is about to launch, people that are paying for our RX prescription card that is about to launch, and the Relevate program for employers that pay any day. Every account that's on that, those are users that use the account on a monthly basis. So anything that gets used or paid for on a monthly basis is residual, right? Our funding programs are typically a one-time bonus, but that residual can get spread out over multiple months. And we also have renewal commissions that come out on that, where a client gets money, they pay off over half of their funding, and they're eligible for more money. They can get another draw, it pays another bonus, and it puts more money in the compensation plan. So there's kind of a residual bounce back effect of clients that come back and borrow money from us again, but the true residuals in those products and services that are used on a monthly basis. Okay. All right. And then an example of that long-term income. In this particular example, these are just numbers that are randomly put together, but as an example, this chart shows you team earnings of $574,000. If you're at the 10% low end of the income match, now you could earn zero, you got to get qualified. You got to have personal customers to be eligible to earn on your team. So you could earn zero on a team that's doing $574,000 if you don't get yourself qualified. But on the low end, if you are qualified with at least 50 personal residual revenue points, you can earn 10% all the way up to 50% of that income. And that would be $57,400 to $287,000. And in this example, let's just say that's 1 month of income. Okay. So that's why you want to be focused on building a team in addition to getting clients. All right. So let's move on to Independence Month. We celebrated our National Independence Day on the 4th of July. David has named July our Independence Month, and he's running a promotion for everyone, which is for you as an enroller. If you bring other agents into the DAC opportunity, or it may be an agent that you enrolled 2 years ago that has just not been active, or maybe you've not been active. You're going to get paid as engaged, which means you're going to make at least 25% income match, even if you've not had a client personally in the past 60 days, on personally enrolled agents who have a funding that was submitted and gets funded by July 31st. So had to be submitted from July the 7th through the end of this month. Okay. Now it's got to fund before the end of day on the 31st. And then this match is going to get paid on new clients, could be a renewal client. The only thing that's excluded in the financial funding space is ERCs, because that's a long-term process to get those. And there's not an ERC that's going to get submitted and funded from July the 7th through the 31st, unless somebody had a real quick work and they paid that commission up front, but those got excluded anyway. So just know funding, you can earn at least 25% match, whether you're qualified in the comp plan or not. All right. So what I want to talk about tonight is what if, and that is, as we were getting started here, I started the Zoom and I told Harlequin, I said, hey, I've got to go dry my hair because I've been working from home all day long. And I have the luxury on most days to be able to plan my schedule and do what I want to do. And today I was doing DAC stuff. I had some limousine clients that I was booking trips for. And I had a couple of different appointments come to my home, landscapers coming and walking my yard with me and talking about some projects that I want to do. So I have that luxury. So what if you didn't have to report to a job? What if you had the time freedom because you didn't have to worry about going to an employer and working a 9 to 5 or whatever that schedule is? And I'm sure many of you on here already have that time freedom. So I'm not talking to you. This is in general for that person that is still working for somebody else. But what if you had more flexibility in your day? What would your days look like? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that makes you feel good? And when are you your happiest, right? I said I had to go dry my hair because all of these appointments at the end of the day, I got my presentation ready for tonight. I got my thoughts together and I'm going, okay, I've got an hour before the Zoom starts. I'm going to go for a swim. So I went and did my swim workout that I love to do every day in the convenience of my own backyard, but I was able to schedule that and make it work, right? So I know that that's my happy spot, being outside with nature, being in the water, being in the sun or under the stars. That's my happy spot. So what is it that makes you the happiest? And what is it that makes you feel the most free? Is it when you go to work? Is it when you're working for an employer? Or is it when you have some downtime and you get to spend quality time with friends and family, or plug into your religious community, whatever it is that's important to you? I want to take you through a couple of tools tonight from the Agent Resource Center. So let me go over, I'm going to stop share and go to a different screen here, Harlequin, and make sure that we're seeing the right screen. Let me do that again. And I think it's going to pull up the same one, but let me see. Can you see the DAC agent login screen there?
Yes.
You are seeing that. Okay, perfect. Okay, this is a demo account that I set up a long time ago for training purposes. So I want to go in through that back office. For those of you that are new and haven't logged in before, you find the link to log into your back office through the footer of davidallencapital.com. There's a little link that says agent login. You log in there with your username and password, or your ID number and password. If you don't remember what that is, there's a password reset link there. But once you're in the back office, you're going to be able to see more and more reports showing up here on the dashboard. But to get over to the Agent Resource Center, there's a link over here to the left. You want to click that. And once you click on that, you can actually save this link in your favorites so that you don't actually have to log back in to get to the Agent Resource Center. We just put it behind a password for initial access so that your clients, when they're looking at your website, they're not easily going to find that Agent Resource Center. Okay, but I want to take you over in the Agent Resource Center. I want to go over to the team building page tonight. And here we have a couple of documents, and that's where the what if conversation comes up, right? What if you were already building your business with DAC and earning over $25,000 per month? David has this very conservatively listed as what if you were RVP, regional vice president rank, and earning 25,000. I've looked at that compensation plan, and at RVP it might be like 250,000 a month, but not 25,000. But just for the purpose of this exercise, what if you were earning over $25,000 a month right now with DAC? What are some things that you would be doing differently? What are things that you would buy for yourself? What would you do? What's on your list of things, your bucket list that you want to accomplish, or places that you want to go and see and do that you're not able to do right now because of either time constraints, because you don't have enough time off from your job, or financial constraints, right? Where you may have time off, but you're not making enough money to be able to pay for those things that you're wanting to do, or the places that you're wanting to go and see. So I want you to think about that. You don't have to do this exercise right now, but if you've got things coming to mind, go ahead and write them down and make a note to come back to this page. I'd love for you to spend the time and really think through what are at least 20 things that you would like to do. I know my list keeps changing all the time because I keep marking things off of that list of things that I want to do, and I'm marking it to done. And then I'm adding new things to that list, right? What kind of car would you drive? Would you still drive the same car that you do? I know I'm very frugal, and I love having things that are paid for so that I'm not throwing money away on car payments and so on. So that's not on the top of my list of new cars. But what kind of house would you live in? Would you change the neighborhood that you live in? Would you do an addition to your current home, or would you just sell your home and move somewhere else? What would you do for family members or maybe grandchildren? Or how would that impact your entire family scenario if you were making more money, making 25 grand a month, then money wasn't an issue? And when an opportunity arose for you to go visit or to purchase something that you really wanted, you really didn't have to think about it and go, oh, I can't afford that, or oh, I don't have the time off, because it would already be handled, right? So that's what I want you to think about with that particular page. And again, let me go back. That is the what if under the team building section of the website and the Agent Resource Center. Okay. The next one is the retirement worksheet. And David has covered this a couple of times right after he launched it, but we don't talk about it a lot. So I wanted to revisit that tonight as we're talking about the retirement and being able to walk away from a job and having your own independence with DAC. Okay. So when is it that you would like to resign from your job or retire? How soon? Some of you are probably going, now I hate what I'm doing. I don't want to work for this guy or this girl anymore. I'm just over it. I understand, been there, done that. And that's actually what pushed me out of corporate America and into starting my own restaurant chain back in 1997, because I had gotten to the point that I just hated what I was doing anymore. I wasn't enjoying reporting to the boss I was reporting to. And I'd always told myself when I got to the point that I hated getting out of bed to go to work every day, that I needed to find something different to do. And I encourage you to follow that guide that I've used for myself. But let me say this on number one, when is it that you would like to resign? Well, my recommendation is, and I see this so many times, people get excited about an opportunity. They make a little bit of money, or they may make a lot of money in a short period of time, and they're going, man, I got it made. And they just forget about everything else that they're doing. And then they find that they have cut off their other income sources way too soon. So rule of thumb on number one, for you to be able to resign from your job or retire, you need to be planning on doubling whatever your daily income is now from a regular income source. You need to be doubling that for 6 months consistently before you walk away from a steady income. That's my recommendation in coaching with people, just so you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're financially stressed. When you're financially stressed, it impacts all areas of your life. It impacts your home life, it impacts your mental health, and it impacts your ability to get more clients, because clients can tell that you're stressed, right? So make a note to yourself on that for number one, on planning that retirement date and time. It may be, say, okay, let's make it 8 months from now. I'm gonna go head down over the next 2 months and start getting funding clients to where within 2 months, I'm already making as much as I'm making on my daytime job. And then I'm going to do that consistently for 6 months in a row after those first 2 months established. And then I'm ready to move on. Okay. So that's just a thought for you. Number two, how much monthly income would you need to live comfortably? Okay. What are your bills right now? What are you spending per month? What's your mortgage or your rent, car note, insurance, utilities, phone bill, grocery bill, eating out, all of these things that you have to pay for every month? What's your minimum amount? And then how much extra money do you need between what your bills are and for you to live comfortably? Is that an extra 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10,000 above what paying your bills is? Okay, you want to write that down and make a note on that as well. And then number 3, how much money would you need to have invested? So if you weren't building DAC and you didn't have this option as an income stream, and you were looking at retiring simply off of money that you have set aside in a retirement account, how much would you have to hit your monthly goal? Here's the rule of thumb, okay? And this is assuming a 6% growth rate. You take the answer for number 2. So if number 2 was $8,000, okay, 8,000 to live comfortably, and multiply that times 200, that comes to $1.6 million. Okay, so at a 6% interest rate and earnings rate, you would need $1.6 million set aside in a retirement account earning 6% interest per month to be able to get $8,000 a month in income without impacting your financial nest egg there, right? Without whittling away at the principal that you have in that account. So those are 2 exercises that, again, are right there in the Agent Resource Center for you to go through and really get you thinking. But I'm going to get off a screen share here, and I want to go through a couple of conversations that I had today, and then we're going to go to Q&A for anybody that has questions or comments about what we've done. I had a great conversation with Wade Cordell today. You know, Wade is our primary partner over at Bank Breezy. He's the senior funding director. He's been doing a jam up job on our Wednesday trainings funding call with Wade, 11:30 Eastern time every Wednesday. He's got a great call coming up this Wednesday. You want to make sure that you get on that. But my conversation with Wade that I want to share with you guys today is what an impact the new funding program of up to 10K in less than 10 minutes has made. You know, today when he first, I sent him a text message and he called me back immediately, and I'm going, what's going on, Wade? And he said, oh man, he said, our funding numbers, we're doing more in a day than we used to do in a month. And I'm going, that's great to hear. And he said, not only are we doing more in a day than we used to do in a month, our numbers are just off the charts as far as the size fundings that we're doing. He said, you know, we've got a 300,000, a 250,000, 180,000. So these are some big numbers that business owners are borrowing from us, and not just the 5, 10, 15, 30, 40, $50,000 fundings that we see a lot of, but we're getting a lot of bigger fundings in the mix. What does that mean for us? That means that DAC is growing. And that means that the more fundings that are happening out here throughout the whole agency network, the more power DAC and Bank Breezy have as a whole, and more leverage we have, because when they can show our providers the numbers that we're bringing to the table, it gives the ability for David and for Wade to leverage that agent network and be able to bring better pricing to the table for us and more products to the table for us. But because DAC is growing, it's really go time for you guys. We talk about recruiting every week. And if you're not recruiting, again, I ask you, why are you not recruiting? Is it your belief level in DAC? Is it your belief level in yourself? Or are you thinking that you just need to be waiting? Because I assure you, if you're waiting, that is the wrong answer. Okay. I also hear on people not recruiting is that they go, well, I just need to get some clients and prove that it works before I bring other people into it. Guys, there are people all around us that can prove that it's working, right? I just showed you 4 people tonight who have rank advanced because they got a funded client. Told you about the story of Harlequin getting an override with a personally enrolled agent who had a funded deal. So the fundings are taking place all around us. Don't worry about you being the one that gets the client personally. Use everybody else's experience and their proof that it's working, and let that be the fire that drives you forward and moves you into action to start having conversation about what we're doing. Because I assure you, as the next few weeks evolve and some of our products are getting released into the marketplace, and you're going to see a frenzy online, you're going to hear a frenzy about DAC and what we're doing, and we're going to be turning heads. There's going to be some big heads turning in other network marketing companies that maybe they're struggling right now, or there's some issues with the FTC, or their compensation plan has changed for the 15th time, or maybe their commission checks aren't coming out on time. There are issues going on with other companies all around us each and every day, and DAC is rock solid. 8 years under our belt, foundation is laid. We've got a tremendous support team working with DAC and with Bank Breezy. We've got a wonderful field of leaders out here in the field, like myself and Harlequin and many more of you who are on here. And you guys, you know, we've got experience with DAC, and we're ready to go to the next level. We just need you guys to say, okay, I'm ready to step it up. I'm ready to step it up and start bringing some quality people on board to David Allen Capital, because it's going to happen with or without you. And I had much rather it happen with you in the mix, rather than you be one sitting on the stands watching and going, oh my, what just happened? As everybody is flying by you there. Okay. All right, Harlequin, questions or comments in the chat?
The chat is empty,
All right.
but we have Ray's hand up.
Okay, before we go to Ray, I want you guys to light up the chat here, and Harlequin's going to come back through here. When you went through that, what if you didn't have to go to a job? I want you guys to write in some of the things that you would be doing differently today if DAC were paving your way financially and you didn't have to report to a job. What's one thing that you wrote down that you would buy or do, or something you would do differently, how your life would look different if you didn't have to report to an employer? So while you're doing that and Harlequin is looking that up, I'm going to go to Ray and ask you to unmute. Hey, Ray, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Ellen, how are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you.
That's good. So I was listening to you just a few minutes ago, and I rather ask than not ask. So when you was talking about, you was giving an example of someone saying, well, I want to first get some clients before I do anything. And then you mentioned that you didn't have to do that, and other people can come in and they get clients. So I think that was like the thing that I was asking Dave in a while back when we had a discussion about, you know, people coming under you. So are you saying that if, let's just say I had 3 people decided to sign up and I hadn't gotten a client just quite yet, and they end up getting a client, will I will get compensated for that even though I haven't gotten a client just yet? So that was what I was trying to understand before, and you know, be very clear about that. So okay, I'm bringing it up again.
Great, and thank you for asking. If anytime you guys have something that you're not 100% clear on, ask the question. So the answer is it depends, Ray. If you've brought people in, or you bring people in now, if they got and it depends on the client too, okay? If it's a funding client, the funding bonuses get paid according to the bonus part of the compensation plan, which means that you need to either have 200, you need to either be new in the business, you personally new in the business, it says 90 days on the comp sheet, but David referenced 60 days the other day. I've asked a question about that and I haven't gotten an answer yet. I'm thinking it's supposed to say 60 days in your first 60 days, because that's what it's always been. If you're in your first, and I'm answering this broadly, Ray, and I'll make sure I answer your question. If you're in your first 60 days and you recruit somebody who gets a client, whether you've had a client or not, you're going to earn your enroller match of at least 10% on that. Okay. If you are outside of your 60 days, then you have to either have 200 in bonus revenue volume yourself, or you have to be, and that will put you at a 10% match, or you have to have had a engaged qualifying client in the past 60 days. What is engaged? Well, engaged is any new bonus client, okay? Or it can be a renewal client that is over 600 or more. Or you hit area director and are qualified at area director. So 3 ways to be engaged qualified, except right now we have the Independence Month promotion. So any fundings that happen in your team right now from the 7th through the end of July, you would get paid as engaged on those, okay? Or if you have had a client in the past 30 days, a qualifying new qualifying bonus client in the past 30 days, then that amps you up and you get a 50% match. Okay. So back to your question, Ray, it's possible that you bring somebody in and none of that scenario that I just painted for you applies to you. So you're not 60 days, you haven't gotten a client in the past, you're not in your first 60 days, you haven't gotten a client in at least 60 days, and you're not in the middle of the Independence Day promotion. Let me put a name on this. Let's say that you enrolled Joe, okay? Joe goes and gets a client. You're outside of that window of being qualified. Joe would get paid and you would not get that enroller match this time, okay? If you're not qualified with personal clients or having personal residual revenue. David is going to be adding in some activity qualifications when we have our app out. He's going to be doing that. So there'll be some activity that can count towards you getting activated and engaged. But here's what you need to understand. Here you are, Ray. Here's Joe. Joe got a client. You didn't get paid on this one client. But at any point, because Joe doesn't automatically bypass you, at any point, you can go get yourself qualified just by going and getting a qualifying customer. And now, next time Joe gets a client, you'll get paid the next time. So you don't permanently lose the ability to earn on Joe just because you missed one override on Joe at that time. And that's one of the beautiful things about this compensation plan, because a lot of compensation plans are written that scenario I just painted out. If you miss an override on somebody, you miss it forever. Or compensation plans, bonus volume accumulates, and if you're not qualified, it flushes, and all of this stuff that goes on. But you can always come back and get caught up and get qualified and start earning again. In fact, there's been 2 times, I think, that the whole time I've been with DAC, 2 times that I've had someone in my team that I personally enrolled and I was not engaged qualified. So I wasn't eligible to earn my match on their Okay. Missed a commission.
Okay.
You know what that did for me? It put a fire under my butt, and I'm going, so the next time they got a funding client, which they did. In fact, I was the one helping them with the funding client. So that first client, it really hit home with me, because when they got them funded, I was the one that did the call with the client, answered the questions and got them through, knowing I was going to miss a commission, but I helped my agent get a commission, right? So the next client they got, I was qualified the next time and I got paid, and I never missed another commission on them. So hopefully that lengthy explanation paints that picture a little bit clearer. Is there still anything gray in that?
So Ellen, so Ellen, so if someone was joined and they, let's say, and this probably answered my question. So if the person came in, but they still hadn't got nobody 6 months later or a year later, that still applies either way. If they had been in and they just, let's say they hadn't gotten anybody as far as a client for a year or for whatever reason, and they say, okay, look, I'm gonna push this, they start doing it now. Does that all what you're explaining still applies?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're saying a person comes in, you're referring to an agent, right? So let's say you recruited an agent a year ago, they're in your team, they're inactive, and all of a sudden they decide to start promoting DAC, right? they're personally enrolled by you and you get paid on them just as if you sponsored them this month,
But
except
I'm talking about I'm talking about like example for myself, me signing up and it's been 6 months later. I mean, that's a good now that's a good explanation as well, but I'm speaking for myself as an example.
yeah, no matter how long you've been here, whether you've been here 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, that
Mhm.
commission structure that we just went through applies to anybody and everybody, no matter how long you've been an agent with DAC, right?
Okay.
So one other thing I'll add on that, the DAC 1, the DAC 2, the DAC 4, those 3 levels that we did the rank advance recognition, those
Yes.
are ranks that you're permanently qualified at, okay? Because
Okay.
you get a client, you get moved to DAC 1, you get another client, you get moved to DAC 2 and 4. Once you move beyond those in the bonus plan, the team qualification for area director and above, that is a monthly requalify. But if your team is growing and you're doing a lot of activity, it'll be relatively easy to stay qualified on a monthly basis on those. So you could earn that level and not get paid at that level, essentially as an area director, but you always get paid at DAC 1, 2, 4, as long as you're engaged, at least engaged, or have your 200 qualifying volume points or residual revenue points.
Okay, that's pretty much it. You answered my questions. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate it.
You bet. And I appreciate the questions. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else? What do we got in the chat there, Harlequin? Anything exciting?
Well, we got one person who is wanting to, let's see. Oops. Disappeared, it looks like. Yeah, I put in that I would like to buy a house and a new car and travel to Europe. But somebody else was saying that they were wanting to get out of debt and buy a new house as well. So yeah, but we do also have somebody who had asked a question just to clarify. And I've already answered their question in the chat, but someone was saying that they were more interested in providing the services and not really recruit or build a team. And they were concerned about still getting their commissions on, for like the gig funding and the 10K in 10 minutes and also the Relevate Pay Any Day program.
That's a good
Which
question.
they do get all that. They do get that.
And the answer is yes. You always, always, always get paid on your personal client. So when we talk about qualifying and being eligible for overrides, those qualifying volume requirements are only there if you're building a team and for you to be eligible to earn on what your team does. But you 1000% of the time you earn personal commissions on clients that you're responsible for bringing to the table. So think of it this way. If we didn't have the requirements and the qualification structure in there, because DAC is free, there are a lot of agents. I've seen this over the past 5 years. There are a lot of agents that just go, oh, I'm going to get matching bonus on whatever they do. So they go out and they recruit a lot of people and never get a client themselves. But because they never get a client themselves, a lot of times they're not working with their team either. They're just recruiting and hoping that somebody's going to get a client and they're going to make money off of it. Folks like Harlequin and myself end up being the ones that are really working with the team and doing the 3-way calls and answering the questions. So because we're qualified, because we're getting clients, I think it's only fair that the compensation plan is written the way it is, so that there is activity requirements or personal client requirements required to get paid on what everybody else does. So yeah, you get paid on your own clients. That's a great question. And that's perfectly fine. If that's all you want to do is get clients yourself, that is perfectly fine. You can make a significant income here. We got buy a home and new car and travel to Europe. That sounds fun. I want to do that Europe trip too. I had clients with my limo business do a cruise to Europe a couple of weeks ago. They went on like a 14-day cruise, and their adventure was amazing. And I'm like, I need to put that on my list of things to do. Let's see. What is the best strategy to get clients when using the agent portal? And when you say using the agent portal, I'm assuming you're talking about the website, right? So if that's what the question is, let's do this.
Ellen, can I add to that just a little bit? Because I think this kind of fits in with that. And you can answer both at the same time. They said, can you explain how to get points and what are the best ways to pursue clients?
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Harlequin, for reading in advance there. So using your website, when I'm talking to somebody about our services, I always like to take them directly to the page of the service that we're talking about. I rarely send someone to davidallencapital.com/my ID number. Rarely. Now, I may have that on a business card so that they connect to my website in general, if it's just a general card, but I send them directly to the page. So if I'm on the phone with someone, today I had a call come in. Someone saw my information and reached out to me about funding. We had a nice conversation. I pre-qualified them on the phone. And then I said, okay, are you going to be doing this application on a mobile device or will you be using a computer? And he said, I'll probably do my computer. And I said, okay, then email is probably best, right? And he said, yeah. So I emailed him a link directly over to the Business Capital page of our website, /my ID number at the end, right? And in my email, I explained, here's a summary of our conversation. We're one of the largest lending platforms in North America. I always tell that story when I'm talking to somebody about funding so that when they apply through us, they know that they're going to get the best offer from multiple lenders. That is if they're doing over $15,000 a month. But I did a little summary of that. And I said, here's what you're going to need to apply: 3 months bank statements, copy of your driver's license, copy of a voided check. And when you have these documents ready, click this link to apply. I emailed that to him. Sure enough, within a couple of hours, and he told me it'd be a couple hours. A couple hours later, I got notification. Congratulations, Bank Breezy submission started. And I go, look, it was him. And then I didn't see anything else. So I reached out to him again, continuing that conversation. So using the website, the best thing you can do is point them to the page on the product that you're talking about and tell them where to go in that page, or give them a little bit more detail. Like I gave the detail on the documents he's going to need. If I were talking to him about Relevate, I would say, okay, if I were talking to him about Relevate, I would get on the phone with them and I would fill the form out with them while I've got them on the phone. You don't have to send a link over to Relevate. Funding, because the client is giving permission to be contacted and their personal information, they do have to fill out those forms. But every other service that DAC markets that's not a funding program, you can fill out the form for the client. Okay, just make sure it's a legitimate client and the client is wanting you to fill that out. But if it were Relevate, I'd fill the form out for them and I'd say, okay, let me ask you a few questions. I'll go ahead and set up a call with our team right now, if that's okay. Sure, okay. 3-way call. I'm down there asking them questions. And then once you click submit, the next page, you have the opportunity to schedule a call, and a calendar link comes up and you say, okay, our team is available today, tomorrow. Do any of these times work? And the client says, yeah, let's do this one. You click that in, send in their email, and it automatically sends communication over to the client. And you can be on that call as well. You can add yourself in the Zoom link there on Relevate, and it will send you a calendar invite too. So you'll get a link to that Zoom meeting if you want to participate in the call with your client. Let's see, about getting points. Every time you get a client, somebody has to come on board as a client. So if it's funding, just applying does not produce points. But once they get funded, then that produces revenue. Depends on the type of funding it is as to when that revenue occurs. Okay. We get the revenue for qualification purposes, for bonus purposes. We get the revenue when we get paid. Okay. So most of our funding products pay on a daily basis. We get paid the day after the client gets their money. Then they get funded today, we get paid the next day in most cases. But our new up to 10K in less than 10 minutes, that's a monthly payout through our partnership with Giggle. So you may have a lot of clients that are getting funded over the course of a month, but all the clients that get funded this calendar month will get paid out near the end of next month. Okay, because that's a once a month. Why is that? Because some of you are probably going, well, I don't like that. Okay, think of it this way. With Giggle, the client has to make at least one payment before it's considered a client that commissions can be paid on. Okay, so for us to get paid, if we got paid weekly on those, like we were there for a little while, there would be some of us that would miss getting paid a commission because the weekly, they didn't make their first payment and it would skip paying out on that customer. Yet maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, the customer would come back and make that payment and get caught up. So by making it a monthly pay cycle, it gives the client the opportunity to be current with what their payment due is. And then once they've made that first payment, at least, then we've earned that commission without it being taken back away. But every client that we bring to the table, funded, and DAC Protect, our healthcare that David announced today that he's planning on that going live by August the 1st. The RX program, credit card processing, all of those clients count as points. To see what those points are, you want to look back in the Agent Resource Center where we accessed it earlier and click on the compensation tab at the top of that page. That's going to open up the video as well as a compensation document. And then when you go to that compensation document around page, let me see, I'll pull it up real quick. When you go to the compensation document, you want to go back to see what customers count, how much volume they count for. You'll start on page 14. It tells you what the bonus revenue is, the agent commission, the qualifying volume, the residual revenue, and it also talks about the qualifying volume, the residual revenue points, tells you when those points count, just like I shared that, funding, we get the points when we get paid. That's when it goes live. So it shows you when all of those points will actually be counted for you. And it also talks about the commission timing, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly payout to you in the time of month that it pays. So that will help you there. All right. Did I address those questions, Harlequin? Or did I miss something, or do you have a comment on what those questions were that I didn't explain?
Okay. The next one is kind of elaborating on that initial question about the points and the best way to pursue clients. They were wanting to know more information about what qualifies a client for funding. And then let's see, I was telling them that Wade has done some excellent training on this, and he was asking if you can show where is that video available.
The single video?
Yeah, if you can show how to get access to the videos that Wade has been doing.
Yeah, they're on the YouTube channel. They're not posted anywhere, but if you're on my email list, every week I've been sending out a list of replays, and on the Wednesday funding trainings, I have every single week in there. So every week I'm adding the new one to it. So you've got a whole list in sequence of first video all the way through 6. This will be the 7th week. So after Wednesday afternoon or so, I'll be sending out all 7 of those videos. So if you have any of my emails, just go back and look for the replays, and you'll have the direct link to each and every one of them with the date stamp. This last week, I sent them out by date stamp. So let me go over here to the Agent Resource Center. The funding training, as far as business funding, you want to go to the Getting Started section of the Agent Resource Center. For those of you that are new, that's really where your basic business capital training is. This is a lengthy video, but it's broken up into different segments, where the first part is the funding process, how the app sequence works, qualifications, and then David talks about gathering customers. Again, if you're following the emails that I send out, I try to take these big trainings and break it down in bite-sized pieces. So, you know, I may send out a 5-minute video, or I may send out, I know one of the videos that I have out there about best passive ways to find customers is a 30-minute segment that a clipping that I pulled out of a video that's like a 6-hour video, but I pulled that one section out and made that single video so that you don't have to go through all of it. You can go straight to the best passive methods to find clients, right? So that's where you find the business capital training, and then you've got your quick reference sheets. There you have the funding quick reference sheets and the ERC quick reference sheet. I want to mention real quick while we're on that, on the ERC real quick, if you were on today's Zoom or the past couple of corporate Zooms, David has put out there about the ERC program, and, you know, would you be interested if we offered a way to get paid up front for ERCs, where some clients could pay an upfront retainer? David's supposed to be having that call, I believe, tomorrow. Yeah, he's doing that call tomorrow. So they're going to be making a decision on that pretty quickly. And as he said today, Tyler on our support team already has the systems in place on the DAC side. It would just be our provider partner that would need to have all of their systems in place for us to be able to pull the trigger and run with that. But my thought on the ERC, and whether you're for or against adding the upfront retainer, they're working on a hybrid which would exclude the smaller businesses from having to pay a retainer, but larger businesses to pay a retainer. But I believe that we would not miss an opportunity to help any business out there. I don't think if the team talked to a business owner that actually should qualify, if they didn't have the money, they would figure out a way to work around it. But that upfront retainer gives us a way to get paid, right, for having the conversation, because the actual funding that takes place that triggers the commission to us doesn't take place for between 3 to 6, 7, 8, 9 months, depending on that account, right? So it's a long sales cycle as far as you getting paid full commission on it. So that upfront retainer could help you get some now money and be able to keep putting clients in the funnel and be getting paid now money on those that are going in the funnel as you're building this massive explosion of income when they start paying off. We're starting to see ERC commissions coming in now, and it's kind of mind-blowing to know what's out there. I was on a call today and have been for the past 2 or 3 days following up with a client with one of our agents. She's got a client that's going to get back $898,000, right? That commission to that agent is over 35 grand just for helping a business owner qualify for money that they're due back from the IRS. That's crazy money, but it's real, it's there, and it's available, but only for those of us who are willing to talk to business owners and let them know that that money is there. So that's where we are with that. And I hope we'll get an answer on that here in the next few days. I think by Friday, when we roll into the agent update call, that we're going to have some really good stuff to add to our plate as far as DAC goes. Harlequin, what you got going there? I see you busy typing, questions, comments, extra
Yep,
feedback.
I'm answering questions. Um, someone was asking about marketing materials for the employee pay any day, which is under business services in the agent resource center. And then it's the last one there. It's the under pay any day. So you can take a look at that. And let's see, somebody was asking if the reference sheets have been updated, because I know with
They have.
yeah, I knew we had been told that. And last week was a crazy week with a lot of stuff going on in my team, and I did not get a chance to look at it to verify that. So thank you.
All right. And speaking of marketing material, I want to show you guys one more thing. And I didn't realize this until David mentioned it on a Zoom the other day. And I'm going, oh, okay, didn't know that. So do you know that you can go in and customize business cards now and customize our drop cards without having to order them in bulk? Yeah. So let me show you where those are. And that I am under the business funding tab. Under business funding, and I've scrolled all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so business funding, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. And here are brochures. Okay, so you've got a one-page brochure on a preferred client program, which we still are marketing that. We have lenders that do that. We have the Canada funding, asset-backed funding, and then our Connect cards, okay, where you can go in and do how to customize. You can print these on your own, take them to your local printer and have these ready to go. And David also mentioned regular business cards. Do you know where those are, Harlequin? I don't see those in that same section.
That's a good question. I think
They're
they're on, well, see, on the home page, it has a link to order cards.
right? Yeah, which is where the business cards are if you're ordering them from Johnson.
I didn't see them in there the other day when I was in there. Now I could have missed them. And it wouldn't be the first time that I missed something.
Yeah, they're in there in the packages.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I would recommend if you're wanting a DAC business card, I would take this template that is shown here, and I would duplicate that and order through Vistaprint or somewhere where it looks exactly like that. That's a pre-approved card, image wise, as long as it's clean and digital images. They've changed the back of that card. That looks good. All right. Okay, guys. Well, let's go through. I do want to go through, Harlequin, if you'll take a minute and read through the different things that people posted that they would do differently. And you don't have to name names, but go through some of those things and share with everybody some of the ideas.
I think some of them sent it to you. We've got buy a home and a new car, travel to Europe. Let's see, a new car for somebody else. And there was another one I know. Get out of debt, purchase a new home, car, travel to several countries.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones that got sent to me.
Retire, live a wealthy, healthy lifestyle, and help others. I like that because, you know, having money and Time freedom doesn't mean a whole lot if you don't have health to go with it. So you want to take care of your health in the process. Get out of debt, new home. Yeah, I love it. I'm, hopefully that just got you thinking about what the possibilities are. And I can remember times in my life where, I had goals, things that I wanted to do, and kept doing I'm going to do this someday. And someday never comes. It's always in the future, right? But then I would get to the point that I would just be sick and tired and fed up. And I'm going, okay, that's it. I'm going for this. And those times when I've just flat out made my mind up that I was going to do something, I accomplished whatever it was that I'd been putting off, and usually in a short period of time. And I know that each of you can do that as well. You just got to clear the clutter and clear whatever it is that's holding you back, whether it's something literally in front of you that, maybe it's clutter in your desk and you need to clear it so that you can focus every day, or whether it's just your mindset and that thought process, the story that you keep telling yourself every day over and over, that you can't get something, or someday I'm going to do this, because before you know it, someday will be 10 years from now, and you're looking back and going, wow, I can't believe I'm still here 10 years later and haven't gotten to where I said I wanted to be 10 years ago, right? So be mindful of time, but DAC is going to be an opportunity and a half for you to get there. If you'll just lock arms with us and do the things that we're encouraging you to do, and then make sure you're getting those customers so you're getting qualified. But you do earn on your own customers no matter what. Okay. All right. Any last comment, Harlequin, before we wrap up? I'm appreciative of everybody's time tonight.
I got one last one: be of service to others.
I love it. Ray, is that a new hand raise?
I believe it is.
Yes, it is. I had one more question. You mentioned about as far as the changes with the ERC. So what if, okay, I know he mentioned about the 2,500 retainer upfront. So what if you have a customer who, is asking a lot of questions like, well, why do I have to pay up front? What would you do? I mean, how do you, answer the question for them? Because then, maybe some people might feel some way about it being, upfront. So.
Okay. Good question. Let me make it clear. We're not doing that right now. They're discussing it as a potential, right? So it's a possibility of coming. We'll get a solid answer on it here in the next few days, I'm assuming. But if we do go that route, it won't even be up to us as agents to say, hey, there's a retainer. It'll be up to us as agents to ask the same qualifying questions that we have today and get them on a call with the agent, because that's the goal, is to have a hybrid model that includes a phone call with the ERC team so that they can actually ask the pre-qualifying questions and move that person on over to, yes, they qualify, let's get them in the funnel and get their documents in, or no, you're not going to qualify, right? But if we move that direction, the phone call will be what handles the conversation about a retainer or not, depending on the size of the business. But it'll be out of our hands and we won't even have to worry about that. But if we do go that direction, there will be some training that will specifically lay out the steps that we need to do. So don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing right now, as nothing has changed. But if it does, we'll have training that lays it all out real clear.
Well, will this be with the same company or a different company if that changes?
I asked David that question the other day, and he said he's given the opportunity to our ERC Pro team because they've been really good to work with. So he's given them the opportunity to work with us on what he's contemplating. But he didn't give me he said he's going to give them the first shot at it to do that. So.
Okay.
That's
all right.
all.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for the additional question. Okay. If nobody else has a question or comment, then we'll wrap up. Harlequin, anything from you?
Yes, I do have a thing. ERC Pros has changed their name,
Oh yeah, good point.
and I can't seem to find it right at the moment. Do you have that handy?
I do. It's Figure Financial.
Okay,
Figure like a figure 8, Figure Financial, and they have sent out. Thank you, Harlequin. I should have made that on my notes. They sent out some communication to some of our clients. That was a little confusing because they went from being ERC Pros to Figure Financial and did not carry that branding over. But David has asked them to please make sure they're communicating that they are formerly ERC Pros or previously ERC Pros. So there's no miscommunication with the client. But yep, one company, same ownership. They've just rebranded because they have more financial and tax programs that fit better under a broader title rather than just ERC as ERC Pros did. So that's why the name change. Okay, good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for taking time to spend your evening with us this evening, and make sure your team is watching our replays and getting the word out about paying attention to emails that I send. If you're not on the text list, you want to join that, just go to subscribe.ellenwinn.link and you can add yourself there. Okay. We'll see you on Wednesdays, Zoom with Wade. If you can't be there live, I'll be sending out the replays as I always do. Okay, everybody, have a great evening. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Thank you. Take care.